you are preparing a resume. In the resume, you have some contents description, left and right combinations will be there. Now, initially, you see here, so this is the terms and definitions. Let's open that terms and definitions there. That's the terms and definitions. Here, I will open this. Yeah. And what we will do now here is for simple. So data style. So in the data term, I said font size, a font style. So font weight as bold. Okay. And that is bold. It gets that bold. And the data list, we will keep display as grid. Now tell me how many columns you want in this grid. Display as grid. How many columns you want in this grid? So in grid, it looks normal only. How many columns? So how many columns you want into the grid? Good. So why you want 3 columns? Why you want 3 columns? Here, what is the content you are trying to present? So terms and definitions, how many columns you want? Generally, think that is the first thing. So you think how it is presented. In first, okay, people who said 3 columns, tell me in first column what you will present. In first column, what is present? Name. Okay. In second column, what you will present? Price. Third column, stock. So you are trying to present like a table format. Table format. You are thinking about a table format. I am not thinking about table form. I want side by side. That means all terms one side, all definitions. I told you na resume style. Resume style. I want like a resume style. So generally resume style, that means that's what, yes. In resume style, what happens? All terms will be one side and the terms and what descriptions will be right side. If you are thinking like a column, then three columns, a tabular form. So we are not thinking like a tabular form. We are thinking like a simple grid here. Now what we have to do, grid template columns. So left column, I will give some 3 fractions. So right column should be how much? Right column should be how much? So it should be 9 fractions, right? So that is how we need to divide. That means now your content will be side by side. I hope you understood. So that's how we generally present the contents, side by side. So that is how you define the content side by side. Suppose for every data term, so you given as generally margin bottom as 10 pixel margin bottom for every term. You can keep some space between them. You say some 20 pixel for every term, then some space will come. That is the terms and definitions. You can keep the appearance, like suppose background color, some tomato, something like this. So color, some white like this. The appearance will be like this. For the data definitions, also we can add, so data definitions like color, background color, some light pink, something like this. Light pink, like this we defined, and it can give that appearance, right? So for every definition and all. So we just want simply to understand side by side appearance. Then this is enough. So how you can configure that and define. So this is enough to present. That's how generally we design resume like content to prepare. That is all done with terms and definitions. we have to do that by using terms and definitions. We have data terms and definitions. So I will copy this. This is another style. Remember, all are terms and definitions only. This is another appearance. So side by side, how you can keep side by side appearance. So this is another example for side by side appearance. Usually for that, so what you have to do is, so you need to configure the data list in a grid, and you have to tell how many columns you want to distribute them. So then all terms will be in one, and we can do in another one. Yeah. So here the point is, when you use, remember one option, column and grid, when to use them. Understand that point first. Column is used for continuous content. Understood? Column is used for continuous content. Understood? And grid is used for individual. That means, for example, now in this column, so you are writing one content. You are writing some content. This should automatically continue in the second column when it finished the first column. Then we call that as columns. Understood? Understood? Right? So that means the first column continue to second column. Second column continues to third column. You have such continuous content. Then you use column count. Understood? Column count. You use column count 2 or 3 or 4. You use this for this kind of information. Now, data terms and definitions are like this. Data terms and definitions are continuous content, one below another. They are not continuous. Terms separate, definitions separate. Am I right? Terms separate, definitions separate. Terms are not continued with the definitions. So then you have to use separate. So when to use columns? When you have continuous content. And when to use grid? When you have this kind of content. Okay, that is what we have to define. Yeah. This is basically, so grid is basically used for this kind of presentation. So that is general how you can present the terms and definitions and define. Later, the various other techniques also we can use. Another option, we have details and summary. Details and summary. So details and summary, generally, one problem with the details and summary is they are not supported on every browser. But what is the purpose of details and summary? I will tell you. We will see that, right? So let's see. Generally, details and summary is used in this way. For example, so what is the purpose of details and summary? So here we are writing some details. In the details, so here we are writing directly, we are configuring here some divs initially. Later we can keep various lists inside it. Suppose we said, so Samsung TV, okay, and another div, so speaker, JBL speaker, so another div, some earpods, something like this we are designing. Later we will create lists. I will show you how to define the lists and configure them. So here we are say mobile like this. This is one details. And for these details, what is the summary? Above you have to add summary. Summary is electronics. That means under electronics, all these will come. Okay, under that summary, we are defining all that. We are configuring it. Next, similarly, we have another details. Every details is separate. Every details have a summary. This summary is footwear. And under that we have Nike casuals. So another like some Lee Cooper boot. Okay, like this. So some sneakers. So and the casuals. So sports, something like this. That is another detail. And we can write any number of details. Every detail will have a summary. Under that, you can put some paragraph also. Summary I given as, suppose, fashion. And here you can put several paragraphs of information also. We can define several paragraphs of information and define that. That means even you can put some paragraphs. You can keep the paragraphs and you can define the paragraphs and specify the paragraphs, right? So usually the paragraphs of information can be configured here. Like I'm adding a div here, div. And in the div, I am writing here as suppose some shirt, so like some jeans, something like this. Later we can keep proper list also. What is the purpose of these details and summary? You can see that in the output. You can see it comes like this. Electronics, I expand, thus details will come under it. So footwear, fashion, you can change their alignment, spacing, you can put paragraphs, indentation. Suppose we see here, suppose we have details. In details, wherever div is present, space div, then margin left, as suppose some 100 pixel. I defined like this. Margin left as 100 pixels, we have defined like this. Now you can see that. So the divs will be like this. So they will keep the content in this way. That means this is expandable and collapsible options we can create and configure. So this is suppose I said 50 pixels, okay. And you can have different styles and appearance fonts for that. And one problem is some browsers don't support them. Suppose if you are trying this on Internet Explorer like browser, old versions, it will not support. So then try on another browser. So we have to warn the users that this is not supported. That we will do with JavaScript. In JavaScript, we will learn how to alert the user which one is supported and not supported, and we can display them. Initially, so all the options in HTML, I told you that they are browser dependent. They will be changing according to the situation. So here, basically, this is details and summary. And by default, when I refresh, all are closed. If you want anyone to open by default, in details, you can keep an option called open, just like dialog. If you give that dialog, what happens is, so open, automatically, by default, it kept open. You can keep all open. By default, you can keep all open. Every time, all will be open. So we don't want like that. We want one topic to open and others, if user wants, he can expand. This kind of details and summary you can add. That is details and summary. So we have data terms and definitions. Data terms and definitions are defined. So by using DL, that is data list. Data list contains data terms, DT, definitions, data definition. And details and summary. Details and summary, we have to define. So by using details and the summary. So they can contain an attribute open. Details by default, if you want to open the details, they can contain the attribute open. That is how you can display and keep the content open, right? Generally, when you are dealing with so this kind of presentation, You can use a lot of CSS later and to customize according to your requirements. Many times you will be surprised that, so in a website, you will see some contents. You may think like they are designed with some special options, but they are designed with general terms and definitions only. But CSS is very important for them to keep that presentation. Many things will look like, so we don't know how to design, but they are designed with the basic options like what we have learned now, right? Terms and definitions and all. So this is one details and summary. So you have paragraphs. So we have block quotes. We have details. We have summary. We have data terms, data list with the data terms. So data definitions, all these, and headings, all these we have seen. Another important, now we have lists, how you can configure the lists. We have ordered list and we have unordered list. So ordered list. So ordered list, unordered list, usually we use the ordered and unordered list. Generally, ordered list is used for auto numbering. So, and unordered list is used for bulleted list. Bulleted list means symbols list. So, but HTML have limitations. With CSS, we can do several changes into them. Generally, ordered list is auto numbering. For example, how to create an ordered list. Suppose we are writing here. So heading as categories. And we have OL. OL is for ordered list. And the items in ordered list are defined as LI. LI means list item. And we have like electronics. We have like footwear. So we have like fashion. So we have an ordered list. So we have in that ordered list. So we have electronics, footwear, fashion. And you can see automatically they will have a numbering 1, 2, 3. Ordered list by default have numbering. Now, when you add any item, automatically it will update the numbering. That means anywhere. Suppose in the list we have some accessories and automatically it will be 3. If I push this list item to above, then automatically according to the position, its numbering will be 1. Like this, it can update automatically. And another point is when you are defining this list, so we have options, attributes, ordered list is defined with list items inside. Ordered list can have attribute like type. Type means numbering type. Numbering type you can use A, lowercase, uppercase. You can use Roman letters, lowercase, uppercase. You can use number. Only these are available. Sometimes you may come like, sir, I have seen in website hand symbol. All those are other options. Numbering by default HTML provides only this. HTML will provide only this. So it is going to provide only these options. So we need to define only these options. So what we can do is we can say type. Type is equal to A. That means it will be uppercase A, B, C, D. And we can say lowercase. It can be lowercase A, B, C, D. It can be like Roman. It can be Roman 1, 2, 3, 4. Now immediately so many doubts will come. Suppose if I give so A type is equal to A, then what will be the number for 27th item? Because A to Z 26 only na. What will be the number for 27th item? Generally, if you know computer technologies, if you are aware of computer technologies, in every computing technology, so alphabetical numbering will be, so A to Z. After A to Z, it will be AA, like AB, like AC, like AZ. Have you ever seen this? So then BA like BZ, like CA like CZ. After CZ, so AAA like that. Generally, you might have seen this type of things in Excel. If you see MS Excel, you see in that we have sheets. In that A, B, C, D, so many columns will be there. After Z, it will start A, B, AC like that. In computing system, alphabet numbering will be like that. So based on that, the numbers will come. So this is a very general thing. So, but sometimes people are very much excited. They ask immediately, sir, after 26, which number will come? So, but that is a very common thing. If you are a general computer user, in computing technologies, we know that. So after A to Z, if the numbering have to continue in the same style, it will use A, B, AC like that. That's a very general concept. So Roman letters obviously will change. Numbering will be obviously change. But this will be according to that style. A, B, C, lowercase, uppercase will be according to the style. Another attribute we have, an attribute called start. Start indicates from which level to start. Suppose type is 1. That means it will be 1, 2, 3. I want to start from 101. Then we can say start 101. Then it will start from 101. We can make it start at 5. Your wish. It can start with that number 5, 6, 7. You can start from any. Suppose if it is type A, then also start will be 5 only. Why? Because you will not say start at E. Start is a number. You have to tell from which level number. You should not tell from which character to start, which level number to start. So level number is 5. That means it will be from E, F, G, H like that. It can start from specific level number. One more important, recently they have added one more concept, that is reverse. Suppose you see here, start by default it is 1. And recently they added an attribute called reversed. Reversed attribute is used to put a reverse numbering, 4, 3, 2, 1. So remember, your items will not be reversed. Only numbering is reversed. Because generally when you are adding, some new mails are coming, new notifications are coming, then we want the latest number to set for the first one. Old one so should continue with the first number. Latest one should continue with the latest. We should display in reverse style numbering. Such things are required. That's the reason recently they introduced this reverse. Now here also several doubts will come. So if it is ABC, what will be reversed? If it will be ABC, what will be reversed? DCBA, same. And one more regular doubt here is, suppose if it is starting with 2, then what will happen? Because so in reverse order, what it will do is 2, then 1. After 2, after 1, what will come? After 0, minus 1. So that is not a question at all. But some people think it is a complicated concept and they ask like a question, sir, after 0, what will happen? That is a very silly general mathematical thing. After 0, what will happen? It will go negative. So that means, so it will go negative. That means it will get 0, 1, 2, 3 negative. So that's not a big thinkable concept also. It's very simple. If you know generally numbering, so after 0, it will go negative. That's a very general concept. So many times one more doubt will come. If type is A, then what will happen? Obviously, negative will be there for after A. Before A, again it will consider as negative values, 0 and negative values. So it will get AB, BA, then 0, 1. Before A, everything is negative. That's how it is going to manage. So this is a reversed option is a new concept. Reversed is a new concept. So by using this reversed, we can handle the situation. We can handle the situation. And this is newly added option. Reversed is a newly added option. Some old browsers don't support them. So then we have to alternatively display such numberings with basic JavaScript style. So jQuery, JavaScript, and CSS also we can use. I will tell you in CSS. So initially, this is numbering, how you can configure the numbering and define the numbering. Now, one more important point here is, the key point here you need to understand is numbering can be nested. You can have a nested numbering also. That means a list inside another list, a list inside another list, nested also. That means what you can do, for example, I put here, suppose categories. So then here we are designing. So ordered list. So in that list item, so that is electronics. Another list item, so footwear. Now you can see two options are there, electronics, footwear. Under electronics, some list will be there. That what you have to do inside this electronics list. Inside this electronics list, under that electronics word, you have to create another ordered list. And for the second ordered list, type will be A, because by default it is 1, 2, 3, first level number. Here A, and I will keep list item. So say Samsung TV. So television. So, and here we have like mobile, something like this. That is electronics. And under that footwear, another ordered list. So list item. So we say casuals. So, and I defined as sneakers. Okay, like this. You can add any level. Suppose I said as some boots, right? And you can see this is nested. And this type we haven't changed. So for this, again, we have to define the type as A. Or you can use another type also. But reasonably, we want this. Under television, I want some more options. Then you can put here, under television, another unordered list. And we have type is equal to Roman letter. And here we give list item as Samsung. So another list item like LG. So like this. And you can see, you can get a list inside list. Like that. So for 5 levels, we can give numbering. Because we have only 5 numbers. So styles. After 5 levels, you have to repeat them. Or you have to use a combination of numbers and symbols. You can add your own symbols also. But you can't do anything. Why? Because it will give up to 5 levels. After 5 levels, again, you have to repeat your numbers, styles, or you can use a different symbol also. How to keep symbols, we will see that. But initially, this is nested. Multi-level numbering. This is a nested list. All these examples are already in the notes. You can go through them. But in interviews, one general requirement regularly asked is, like, I want these list items one beside another. That's a very common thing. Suppose we are adding an ordered list. In that we have a list item. So list item like home, like another list item like about. So another list item like contact. Now you can see that generally people ask like, I want this side by side. Of course, what you can do is to display side by side. Just what you have to do is for ordered list, you have to say display as flex. It will keep a flexible display that keeps side by side. In that case, every list item must have some right side space. Then for list item, we can give margin right as some 30 pixel. And every list item margin right will be space. We can keep side by side. Suppose you have designed a question paper, like you have question and answers below that side by side. Option A, option B, option C. So you can keep this type is equal to A. then it will be like A, B, C. You can remove the numbering. If you want to remove the numbering for ordered list, we have to use list style as none. You have to add a list style as none. If I give list style as none, then automatically it will be removed. It will be removed. List style as none, it will be removed. You can just keep side by side. Every list item, you can have width as some 200 pixel. So border as 2 pixel solid. And we can put some background color as some red. So color as white. So we can keep as border radius as 10 pixel. And you can see they look like the buttons. We can put text alignment to center. You can keep all of this. You can keep padding. So padding as some 5 pixels. It will keep padding for every list item. That's the appearance style. You have used divs and spans in your previous examples, exercises I given. Now, genuinely in real world development, we don't use divs and spans in navigation. We use ordered list or unordered list. Understood? That means, so in real world navigation, so the items are defined by using ordered list and unordered list only, these navigation items. So everywhere, 100 to 100%, we design by using these list items only. One below another, if you remove display flex, padding is 5 pixel, yeah. If you remove this display flex is removed, they will be one below another only. Right? That means one ordered list, you can keep one below another ordered list. Navigations you can write now. Generally, we design such navigations. That means we keep in a nav area. That ordered list and all. So that's how we design actually. And we keep this as display as flex. And you can give it will give a display, flexible display. That is basically how we can handle. So this is one important thing regularly we do for ordered list. And unordered list, we will see. Unordered list means symbols. Instead of numbers, you can put symbols also. Like you see star symbols or hand symbols. We can keep with CSS our own symbols. By default, few symbols are provided. We can call them as unordered list. That is used as bulleted list. For bullets, we can use that mechanism. Okay. Now the bulleted list and later images, links and forms that we will see in our next session. Tomorrow we will see that. And important, from tomorrow onwards, our session will start at 4 p.m. Okay, na? Because we will spend more time from tomorrow onwards. 4 to it may take up to 6 also. Is it okay to everyone? Right. Because now we have to spend more time and we have to do work.